Hi, I'm Christina Rendon, and I'm here with Steve Factor. We're at the Raw Living Expo 2014, and it has been an amazing weekend so far, Steve. I know
Yes.
you've been enjoying yourself, and I'm excited that you're here because you're one of the top raw food educators in the LA area. Can you tell me what it feels like living your passion and just sharing and educating people with raw foods or of raw foods?
Sure. It feels raw amazing. And this is the way we were meant to be. And I want to thank you for all you do and your bright light and this, what you're doing here and interviewing other bright lights so we could shine that light. And you're in this video world, we have a way to do this now. And how awesome is that? So I feel we're amazing. And I feel the way we were intended to feel. This is our natural state. Yes.
That's amazing, Steve.
Actually, we're amazing.
That's raw amazing. Thank you so much. And it feels great to be able to share this and be
Yes.
able to interview with you to
Yeah.
help spread this some more. And
Yes.
one thing that I absolutely love is that you are doing a lot of community things where you're going to Whole Foods and teaching raw food classes, and you have a following, even kids, and you're going to schools and educating the
Yes.
youth about raw foods so that they have a choice. They know that they
Yes.
can eat raw organic foods
Yes.
and live healthy lives and feel good the way we're intended to. So,
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I love educating. I'm actually somebody who's not very educated. However, when I got into the raw world about 6 years ago, I started reading books. I started to really get into the science of it all. I started to work on the emotional education I needed for myself and to detoxify the emotions and the mental and then the physical. And so a lot of people in the raw world, I had somewhat of a head start on. Before I was even raw, I did a lot of emotional work and a lot of mental detoxification. And then physically detoxifying was just one more thing. But I got to learn that the stuff that I didn't take care of in my emotions before or the mental came out with the physical because all 100 trillion cells of ours, each one has a physical, mental, and emotional component to it, and it's all spirit anyway. And so a lot of people are eating this way, and they're eating so perfectly, and they're miserable, and they're like angry, and there's, I mean, not just this way, but in any diet mentality because they're in one thing. They're one like physical, I gotta weigh and measure this and that, instead of just going with abundance how nature does.
yes.
Yeah, the whole diet thing is always about restriction, counting calories, nutritional facts. What do they say? What's the latest article? Instead of nature, no horse or gorilla or rhinoceros or elephant is reading nutritional facts, and none of them are getting their enough protein. If a human were to, say that we need this many grams, they're not getting protein powder or anything like that. And out of 1.8 million species in the world, there's one that is in a health crisis, and there's one that cooks their food.
Yeah.
Is it possible that it's just a mere coincidence? Or is it possible that cooked food is not natural for us? And that as a natural way of eating, we are going to experience natural results, which is love and vitality and abundance and vigor and strength. And if we eat unnatural, we're going to have these unnatural results, which are aches and pains and dis-ease and ailments and growing old and getting inflammation, which it all comes from, and getting sick once a year. And it's like everyone gets sick once a year when it goes around, as they say. But when we're raw foodists, that doesn't happen. I haven't been sick in years, and I don't know raw foodists who get sick. And this is just the way we were designed to be healthy, happy, free, and abundant. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. How long have you been into raw?
Well, I've been into it for about 6 years, maybe 7, and I learned about it, and I was convinced right away that this was it. But yet, as much as I was convinced, I was so addicted to the other stuff. The hamburgers and the hot dogs and the pizzas and the burritos and the all-you-can-eat Indian buffets and all-you-can-eat sushi and Haagen-Dazs and Ben& Jerry's and Cold Stones and more and more and more. If we were going out to dinner, I would look at your plate and say, I wonder if she got something better than me first, because maybe I didn't get the best thing on the menu. I was always worried, coming always from a place of lack, and I had to be fixed from the outside in. And are you going to finish all of that? Because if not, bring it over here. I would ask people, are you going to finish that while they're eating? Like, because I was starving. I was starving for nutrients, and I was so full from all of this stuff I was eating that was not food, that is considered food.
Wow. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
So you're talking about you spent a long time doing emotional and mental clearing.
Yes.
Did that help you transition into mostly raw?
It definitely set up the framework. One, doing emotional and mental work like that and clearing will give us the open mind and the open heart that we're searching for. And when we have that open mind and open heart, then we may be willing to try something that sounds extreme or crazy or whatever the case may be. And because natural foods in their natural state is crazy. Like, how could that possibly be, right? People like, oh, that's not healthy for you. That's too many fruits and vegetables. You need to cook something, or you need a little bit of this or that, or I mean, it's so, right? Natural foods in their natural state could ever possibly be considered crazy is crazy. And so, yeah, I mean, this is it. This is like, I am totally convinced. I see, we're at the Raw Living Expo, and I see this awesome guy named Chris Kendall walking by right now, who is an amazing raw foodist. And there's so many here. There's so many here that are like bright lights. And we get to see, I mean, and look at her. Look at her. Look at her glow. Look at her beauty. Now, this is like, we see this here. You're welcome. We see this raw glow in people, and their skin looks really good. And skin is the first layer that shows if we're sick or healthy. That shows, and then the eyes, and your eyes are glowing. And
yeah, same with you. You're very clear, and so those are some of the benefits you've seen from eating high raw.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, I'm embracing my looks now, because at the time I didn't think I was that good looking, because I didn't fit into what the normal magazine GQ guy or whatever look was. But now, with all this raw food and the emotional and mental work I did, I've become to fall in love with me. Mm-hmm. And not only like an egotistical, like, oh, I'm so this or that, but to really deep down inside know that I'm awesome in every way. And that if I make a mistake, or I'm not this or that, or somebody might be this, that's all story.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff again, and it's like, we're all beautiful. We're all so beautiful.
Yeah, and I really experience that when I see you. Your eyes are clear, and I experience that beauty and that sense of acceptance of that you have with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I see all the time. You're great with the social media, and you're inspiring people.
Yeah.
I'm sure some raw food educators will be interested in how you do that, as well as I'm sure people who are not that into raw would love to hear about your recipes. You always have some really cool salads that you're working on.
Well, yeah, I love doing a lot of salads. I mean, the basic ways that I eat are, I do a lot of juices and fruits, like until lunchtime. And then after lunch, I'll do maybe a green smoothie or more fruits. As you see, I'm starting to thicken it up, heavy it up a little bit. And then at nighttime, or at 3:33 p.m., because 3 is my number, and I like to do a late afternoon kind of thing, is I'll have my big King Kong salad with fats or some kind of thing. So I eat from light to heavy, making that heavy the last meal, but not too late. A lot of times people might do heavy and it's 8 or 9 o'clock at night and they're going to bed in 1 hour. I like to do it hours ahead of time, and those fats will stay with me, and I'll go to sleep already digesting most of what I ate, and I'll sleep hard and strong, and that didn't happen before. I was an insomniac.
Oh, wow.
I was always like, I might go to sleep and then I'd be up for hours in the night, because I was out of balance.
Okay.
And now I'm eating fruits and vegetables, and I'm in balance, or at least more so. I'm not finished. I'm not like there at the final, but I'm getting there, and that whole journey itself is awesome. Yeah. With all my imperfectly perfect stuff, I love it all. The journey is where it's at.
Enjoying the journey, just being present with it and accepting ourselves along the way with our transformation, just Yeah, I love that
I
because
just said it. Yeah.
I love that because we do transform
Yes.
eating raw, and I I wanted to ask you about your new juice bar that you're
Okay.
opening up.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you're going to be opening up a juice bar called Rock and Juice, and we're all excited about that. You're probably going to have the best ingredients, organic, because you're living this lifestyle. And so
Yes.
I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so Rock and Juice, which is going to be in Burbank, a 2,000 square foot huge juice bar, will have a health coaching center there. And everybody that works there will be detox specialists or holistic health coaches, will be able to tell people that more than carrots are good for your eyes. They'll be able to prescribe and advise on people who do ask, hey, I have a cold, or hey, my joints are hurting, or hey, whatever the case is, let food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. And what we're doing is, yes, it's all organic, and everything will be in glass bottles. There will be no plastic options. We will have water there for the smoothies, tonics, and elixirs that will be spring water.
Yes.
Okay.
I am all for that. And there's also that other quote that talks about how the doctor of the future will no longer use medicine, but will use nutrition to
Yes,
heal. And so
absolutely.
having this type of center is really like
Yeah.
making that movement. It's
It is.
it's helping inspire people to become healthy,
Yes.
giving
Yes.
people a safe place to
Yes.
become healthy, and helping those that are already healthy to
Yes.
just really thrive.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is the way I always wanted to do this, or I should not say always, but in the last couple years, ever since I went to Starbucks and I saw a line in New York go out of the door, and I thought if people could line up this much for stimulation and like donuts or whatever their pastries are, how much more would they line up for pure energy?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because people who experience that, maybe that little crash at the end of the day, I've heard, once
Yeah.
they pick up juices, they
Yes.
they automatically start to feel
Totally.
better, even if the only thing they change is just adding a juice.
Very good.
To their
Very
diet.
well put. Absolutely, because there's people who will come and get our juices, and I know a lot of people who are starting a juice like in the morning who don't care anything about being raw vegan. They're still going to eat all they do, but just that juice itself is so powerful in cleansing and enzymatic activity and action. So if you're going to have a juice in the morning and you're going to have a steak in the evening, guess what? That juice is going to help you digest your steak 8 hours later. How awesome is that? So now, if you have juice and then you have more raw, then you're going to have so much more of that energy instead of going to digesting the meat to fixing your body, healing your body, because that's what the body wants to do more than anything else, is to constantly heal itself. And it will as soon as we get out of our own way.
Oh, I love that. It's about getting out of your own way
Yeah.
and really reaching those potentials. And you're also a detox specialist. Can you
Yes.
give us a tip on detoxing? I know we're all in different places, but
Yeah.
what's something that you really have noticed to be beneficial? Do you work with herbs? Do you work with what do you work with?
Yeah, well, the highest detoxifying food on the planet is fruit. Fruit has astringent properties in the sugars that pull on toxins. So I'm big on fruit. Now, we're at a convention or an expo, and next week I'm going to be going to another expo, that a lot of people there are like, no to fruit. That's too much sugar, and they have this whole thing, and a lot of them know a lot more than I do. However, there's a lot of people who know a lot, like my mentor, Dr. Morris, who taught me about detox, that knows that fruit is man's food. We are frugivores, so fruit would be number one. And then when you get into the herbs, like Dr. Morris's herbs or other herbs that are tinctures, they're highly concentrated. And when you mix fruit and the herbs, the healing process gets sped up quite a bit. And fruits and herbs, just like it says in the Bible, and I'm not like religious or in the Bible or anything like that, but fruits and herbs is the way to go. And we have to surround the whole thing under the umbrella of love. Because if you're like cleansing and you're like, I gotta do this, oh, I hate doing this, and I should be doing this, and there's a whole thing instead of I get to do this. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I get to eat living foods, rainbow colored foods that are infused by the sun, that grow out of Gaia, the Mother Earth, that sun and the earth together and infuses my body with pure energy, and I get to live this way.
Yeah, I love that. I really get that from Steve. Steve is he's usually in such a joyful presence when I meet him and see him, and it's
Yes.
really great. And all of his posts on Facebook he usually uses the word pure energy, which
Yeah.
is amazing because I think a lot of us are after that purity, that
Yes.
pure energy. And I love how you brought up the sunlight and all the colors, because white light is actually every color.
Yes.
So Steve,
Yes.
one of the things that I have really been interested in that you're sharing with me is this whole idea of reaching the high notes and reaching the low notes on a piano, and how that becomes that scale becomes a metaphor for different practices you have in your life. And can you explain a little bit about that to our viewers?
Wow, good. Okay. Yes, so the fullness and the richness of life is up here and down here and everything in between. A lot of people are like either they're down here, maybe they're right here, maybe they're up here. But so a lot of fruitarians who just eat like so much fruit might be like all up here. I was one of them, where I was just like, like bouncing off the walls. A lot of people who might be eating a lot of fats, or people who are eating cooked food or this, are so grounded and they're just like, ah. And so what about if we could have that ground without the energy drain, but the ground is more like an om and plugging into the earth and having that space and that oneness that we all are. And then we also have the when appropriate, and then everything in between. And kind of like the pianos on the keyboard, when you're new to piano, you learn right in the middle keys, and then as you start to do this, you start to get the highs and the lows, and that's the variety and the color of life, and all the different intricacies that could happen on a keyboard is nothing compared to all the different intricacies that could happen in real life, and with all the 100 trillion cells in our body, and then all the other people who are there, and then we're all together, and life is so awesome. It's just awesome because it's full, and we get to choose to make it that way or not. It's up to you.
Yeah, it is definitely a choice.
Yes.
You love to dance. Last night there was a great dance party here at the Raw Living Expo, and everybody enjoyed it. And you were telling me that you like to take this great energy that you experience while you're dancing and then channel it into your creative passion, such as
Yes.
rock and juice or help.
Yes. Yeah. So if we just like stand like this, right, and we're just like this, we're gonna have a vibration. And if we go like this, anybody who goes from this and we go hee 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 hee, and we just do that. The physical motion will get into our emotions and change the mental dialogue that's happening to one of empowerment. When we're really excited about things, more exciting things come to us.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all energy.
We become aware of it, and it comes to us.
And
right?
we become
allow
aware of
it.
it. If we all knew who we really were, we would just be in total utter love with ourselves and everybody around us, and we would embrace the best life that we can think of. And because it just feels good. So many times in the old cooked food world, it would be I eat 3 times a day, and let's just say it's a half an hour each meal, which is pushing it because I would finish a meal in 5 or 10 minutes. And I would do that. And so you think about 90 minutes of eating. What about the other 22 and a half hours of the day? How are those? Now with raw foods, if I eat 3 times a day, which is about what I do, and the rest of the 22 and a half hours are awesome. Get to wake up with a bounce. Without an alarm clock. With yes, I can't wait to come here today to see it. I can't wait for Monday, tomorrow. I can't wait for Tuesday and Wednesday. I can't wait for so many things in my life, and yet I could totally wait and let it unfold. So there's this excitement and this acceptance that makes me see life as an awesome and a rawsome life. Pure energy, baby.
Pure energy, baby.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this interview, Steve. We
Yes.
look forward to seeing all of the great expansion of Rock and Juice and the Wellness Center.
Yes.
Where can people reach you? What's your personal website or Facebook?
Sure. Well, on Facebook, I'm Steve Factor. That's where I'm most active. My website is pureenergyfactor.com. And on YouTube, which I've been doing a daily YouTube video with Monday through Friday, been doing uncooking for everybody. And that's Pure Energy Steve on YouTube.
Wow, thank you. And yeah, thanks for joining us here at the Raw Living Expo. And we look forward to seeing you here the next time around. And yeah, hope that people feel inspired to just surrender and enjoy the present moment and experience raw living foods in a
Totally. And if you saw me go like this really quick, someone was just walking by us, and that was fully raw Christina, who is so awesome. And I just love all the people here. So I just wanted to point that out in case I went, why did he do that on camera? Someone was walking by there.
It's great. Spreading the love. Spreading love to all of you too.
Yes.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Pure Energy.